in 2007 through to 2010 I rode for, through to 2011 I rode for Suzuki, and I mean, it was good there while it lasted, and 2010 I ended up getting a championship. So the first year in 2007 I think I got one podium, which I think we touched on was my first podium in Unadilla, and then 2008 I got my first race win and more podiums, and then in 2009 I feel like I potentially could have won a championship that year as well. We had the first race in Florida at the time. I think it was the last lap, and I was in third. So if you look back on it, you can look back on a lot of races and have a redo and do better. It would have been 20 points, I think, and I ran out of gas on the last lap while in third. So, and I ended up with 0 points, and I lost the championship that year by 13 points. So you look back on it, I think there was a leaky O-ring in the quick fill that was causing the fuel to run out. So we would have had a different O-ring in the tank. I mean, it may have been a different outcome, and 2009 could have been a year I could have won, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. And then so 2010 was good, and I feel like I was the best guy there that year to win, and we ended up winning that power line. So we won a race early, and it was something that from when I moved over here, that was a goal, that was a dream, and a goal was to win a championship, and my old man had come over for it, and to win while he was here it was cool. I think I had to beat Charlie that race to wrap the championship up. I passed him, I think it was like less than a mile to go to the finish. I passed him, and I remember my old man was there standing on the side of the track with his big hat waving around and everything, and it was cool that happened like that. I mean, I could have just went, if let's say you go to the race and you just win, you win a championship, then it's cool, but to do it like that, have to pass Charlie, like I have to pass him if I wanted to win that weekend. I mean, it just made it more exciting and more emotional for me. I mean, I was pumped. I get emotional fairly easy, I think, and I mean, I worked hard for it, so it was, I definitely let it all out there that day.
Goofy
I can't, Goofy can't. No Goofy.
Goofy.
No Goofy. This one. This is Aussie. The end of 2011, there was, I don't know, we never got told that the Suzuki team was shutting down, so I was happy where I was at, and the team worked well and everything like that. So as far as I knew, and maybe the mechanic and the truck driver knew, we still had jobs for 2012, and so I break the leg at Loretta's, and I'm home, and maybe 2 weeks after the injury, the team just shuts down. So I still haven't heard from the guy who runs the show. Never really did like him, still don't like him much now. So it was no one, like there was Mike Webb and Shane Nally, and my mechanic at the time was Chris Wolf, and then Chris Wheeler was a manager as well. Like those guys, from what we all knew, we were still running. So the other guy above all those guys was the guy who I think probably should have told us back in September or October, probably when he found out, but you know, whatever, it's old news now. So yeah, so that happened, and at that stage I was living in California, so the option, it was so late in the year, there was everything out on the East Coast had been signed up and deals had been done, so I was looking for something to do, and I signed with a privateer, like a KTM deal for 2012 to race the work stuff. And yeah, it was stressful. I think it was good. At that stage I was still a favourite, whether at GNCC or even at that stage I feel like I was fairly confident to race the work stuff too. So I think we found a ride fairly easily. I mean, there's a lot of companies that still support me now that chipped in and got the deal kind of working through the support, like with all the support and everything. So I mean, we got it done, and I was more worried about getting my leg fixed, honestly, than trying to find a ride. I wanted to get better, and so I could go and race and prove that it was I can just go race, and it shouldn't matter what kind of bike I was on. Yeah, 2015 and 16 were fairly good. Like I said, I got my bike fairly late in January for some reason. I can't really remember why, but it ended up being, I mean, the year was good. The GNCC went well. I had a small shoulder injury like halfway through the season, and I think I missed 2 races. Then the 6 days day one was, we did 2 loops, and so I was on the 4th special test of the day one, and I went over a set of tyres and just went off them weird, and I landed with my foot out, and it just shattered my heel. So it was that thing, I don't know, that was the most annoying part of all of it. Yeah, so 2017 has been an average. It's been like just over a year and 1 week since I broke my foot, and it still gives me problems. Like today we're riding here, and it's what I might have done 30 minutes or something total, not all at once, and my foot's just throbbing for some reason. And it doesn't do it all the time. It's just one day it might be perfect, the next day it might be terrible. So, and I think that's what I was told it would happen, and unfortunately that it's happened for longer than I was hoping. But yeah, so it's been a year since that, and I mean I got released to ride in February, I think. So 3 weeks before the first Enduro, 2 weeks before the first Enduro at the start of the year, and it doesn't give me a whole lot of time to do anything, especially when I was on a scooter for I think 9 weeks, then still on crutches for another 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. So I don't know. It's been hard because I've told a couple of people I've been here for 10 years, and I haven't had that many downs. I mean, I had the leg injury in 2011, and this heel, which is probably I feel it was a little worse than a leg injury. But besides that, like if you're looking at just racing seasons, they've been pretty solid. So, I mean, sure, I've had a bad race here and there, but never I feel like never a full season or like 4 or 5 races in a row where they've been fairly average, and maybe I just don't know how to. I'm not sure of how to bounce back properly from that. And I mean, hopefully I'm just learning. I feel I've still got some good years in me to go race and win races and hopefully a championship. But I think just never having to experience a downtime like this year, it's been real difficult actually. I mean, the only thing I can look back is 2011 with my broken foot, and man, it was a walk in the park compared to this year. I mean, we got back, it took a little longer to heal, but once it was healed, felt like I was back up to speed and that fairly quickly. So I don't know, it just sucks. The ups and downs suck, but I mean, I think it's good for you. So you can't live on a cloud forever.